never seen this U.S. map before, where Kentucky is Kentucky, Indiana is Inolano, and Tennessee is Tunisio, and the list goes on. Well, this was in the agenda given to students at a JCPS middle school.
Mom, did you know that we live in Veneki? And I said, what are you talking about?
That question sent Morris flipping through her middle schooler at Farnsley's brand new agenda, unveiling all sorts of bizarre errors.
The periodic table is just jarbled words. We have new planets called Mark.
In this U.S. map, Louisiana is Lukong, Alabama is Alatome, Illinois is Vitoise, and South Carolina is Sorth Quanto.
It's crazy.
And look at these phases of the moon. Some are not legible. What should be waning crescent says waning Crescane. And the periodic table, where the names under the elements are gibberish.
We have to pay a $10 instructional fee every year in order to get this agenda. So you're making us pay for something that you used AI for.
That is crazy, bro. The fact that it was in the school for weeks, man, proves, bro. This next generation is cooked, bro. You said we in Veneki, man. And the fact, like she said, they have to pay a $10 fee for those agenda books, man. And they just ran it through AI, bro, because they didn't feel like doing the work. And look what happened, bro. Everything came back in gibberish, man. Don't trust AI.
Oh, he's in there. Is it walking?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see.
Mosquitoes coming in.
Britney Spears really meet a lizard person.
It's too much. It's like I went with this one guy and he just he looked like a lizard. Like I was so scared. Like he was sitting there and I turned him. I was like, oh my god. It's like holy shit, he looks just like a lizard and I had to go.
To ask, which one of your friends set you up with the lizard man?
I know. I was so mad. I called him. I was very angry.
And did you say he's a lizard?
Yes. And he said, oh my god, his pictures. I guess it's just he doesn't look that in the picture.
This offhand comment quickly spread online and became linked to other lizard people encounters.
Tour makes $1 billion. It's no way the lead guy of the tour makes only $77 million in profit. That sounds ridiculous.
You guys hear the neon theory? People are saying he's actually a government informant. FBI trying to expose or catch people doing illegal things.
I didn't even know you were in LA. I was at your performance.
So how you didn't know I was in LA?
Because I thought you were usually in Miami.
So y'all just get on the chats and tell y'all whereabouts, like, just like that.
Oh, I'm moving federal.
We in Idaho.
North Carolina.
This is Idaho.
Sorry, we in Idaho. So I love the.
So many times on Neon Stream, has there been somebody that has been doing illegal stuff on the side or being investigated where he's accidentally either leaked the location or tried to get information out of somebody on the stream?
The Indian cop?
Yeah.
Brother, Kapoor! How you doing, bro? You're putting on for us. Dude, how you doing?
One of the people being Young Thug.
What?
Yeah, it caused police to find, people are saying fuel. I don't know what fuel means. But anyways, they found something illegal.
Question, before I dip, do you have any...
Before I dip, I'm gonna say you some wordplay. You creepy as a mother.
Crazy, bro. I hadn't even noticed that until those clips started playing back. Tilly and I, yep. They were looking like that, bro. They ain't human.
What in the world is going on with people in the state of California? And why do I say that? Because a woman was seen floating down the Los Angeles River. And if you're familiar with what the Los Angeles River is, you know you wouldn't even put your foot or a toe in that. Have a look at this crazy video for yourself. Have a look at this right here. Actually shocked all of these people that were out taking pictures of cars at the time. Check her out right here.
So where? Hey guys. Hey. How's it hanging?
Great. Oh. How you doing? Where you going?
I'm going touring.
Going touring? Just take a look at that right there. She's actually having the time of her life while floating down the LA River, which is actually a storm drain that can carry urine and feces as well. Disgusting. There's also endless amount of trash that can be found in there, and sometimes even paraphernalia used for illegal activity as well. And for those of you that are familiar with this area, and for those of you that are not, this river has exceeded the levels of bacteria, including E. coli. So I guess my question to you is, would you ever consider taking a dip or a float in that Los Angeles River? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
My answer? No! Once again, no! Moving on.
Boomerang mag, 75,000 horsepower, golden quadruple barrel Spaz 12, fitted with a self-modulating infinite FMJ chamber and a microscopic scope. Anything you need at it. World's biggest musket with an analog sight and a polymetric laser beam tunnel size scope and a pancake clip with automatic chamber stock adjustment tech blaster. Anything you need at Ray Ray's Weapons and Firearms. I got it. Got that Bear 50 trillion. Anything you need at Ray Ray's Weapons and Firearms. Got that 55,000 caliber sniper rifle. Anything y'all need, man, hit me up. Ray Ray's Weapons and Firearms. You need it. I got it. Portable MG42 tornado clip grenade launcher with a woolly mammoth tusk bayonet. Anything you need at Ray Ray's Weapons and Firearms.
Bro had the whole Halo loadout, man. I don't know where he got that stuff from. If he made that himself. He's on a different type of level, man. Ray Ray Firearms. Whoa, man. Was not expecting that, bro. Yeah, one with the tusk at the end too, bro. Like, what in the custom-made loadout is that, bro? You got that Halo crap, man.
Easy secrets hidden in famous logos. Number 1, Wendy's. Look closely at Wendy's collar, and you can actually spot the word mom hidden in the design. Some people think it was done on purpose to make the brand feel more homemade and comforting. Number 2, Adidas. The 3 stripes on some Adidas logos are shaped like a mountain. It's supposed to represent challenges and obstacles athletes gotta overcome. Number 3, Baskin-Robbins. Look closely at the pink part of the logo, and you'll spot the number 31 hidden inside. That's because they originally had 31 ice cream flavors, one for every day of the month. Number 4, Toblerone. The mountain on the box secretly has a bear hidden inside it. That's because the candy came from Bern, Switzerland, also known as the City of Bears. Number 5, Pepsi. This one gets weird. Pepsi once paid millions for a redesign, and the official design document tried to connect the logo to the Earth's magnetic field, human energy, and even the universe itself.
Weird. Pretty high up, man. Could be me.
Ay, Dios santo.
Hang on, bro. And he still got the chainsaw in his hand?
Many believe this is a swarm of mermaids caught swimming in the middle of the ocean by a drone. Over the years, it's been uploaded and shared online over and over, claiming to be proof of mermaids. I'd never seen anything like it before until I saw the YouTube channel Apex TV debunk it as a stampede of dolphins caught by a drone years ago when consumer drones had first come out. I haven't been this deceived by a mermaid video since the Animal Planet aired a mockumentary called Mermaid: The Body Found. That was so convincing that the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration was overwhelmed by callers demanding the truth about the existence of the legendary sea creatures.
I don't look like flour. Like something else. Separating it.
Está la proteína. ¿Qué trae la harina de pancakes con proteína?
What is that?
Están vivos. Ew.
Bugs in it?
A ver.
Watch what you eat, man.
Más.
Up in the safe, bro. War?
Harina para pancakes con proteína del Winca.
That pancakes, that cake pancake batter?
Look.
It's more.
That's nasty.
Don't touch it. What the?
Hasta marzo del 2027.
Eating pancakes. What's the name of that pancake brand, bro? Third time's the charm? Or
That's gross.
Ahí está la caja.
okay.
Aquí está la fecha.
Wanko buttermilk protein pancake waffle mix noted. Won't be using that.
Del
Winko.
Wanko. Mm-hmm.
That's nasty.
Write that down, Seekers.
No way. People are saying that something's going on with Joe Rogan's eye. People are also saying that he could possibly be wearing a mask, and I don't believe that. That is not true. This is Joe Rogan at the UFC event, live and direct. People are saying that Joe Rogan's eye was doing something very strange. Like it looked like there was something in his eyes that didn't look normal. This is what people are saying, and if you ask me, it didn't look like there was nothing wrong with his eyes. That his eyes were flickering, that there was something like spinning in his eyes. I didn't see that, guys, but people are talking about this. People had the nerve to say that he was wearing a mask. No, he wasn't. That was Joe Rogan at the UFC event. All right, guys, cut it out. That's not true. I don't know why people are saying things like this, but it needs to stop. Shh. Shut up. Anything could be going on out here, guys. That UFC fight was wild. Joe Rogan showed up. He did what he had to do. Joe Rogan is okay. There is nothing wrong with his eyes. You know why? Because this video is for entertainment purposes only, and people need to stop making things up, bro. Did you see something wrong with his eyes? Because I didn't see anything wrong with it. Let me know if you've seen anything. I'm out.
Did you know in 1991, a millionaire occultist and co-founder of the Hard Rock Cafe, Isaac Tigert, placed a supposed ancient Atlantean crystal skull at the apex of the Memphis Pyramid? The Hard Rock founders secretly had the quartz crystal skull sealed inside a box, lifted hundreds of feet in the air, and welded into the steel structure at the very top of the pyramid. According to the Washington Post, the skull was reportedly positioned according to mystical instructions, even facing towards the Great Pyramid of Giza. This was supposedly to channel beneficial cosmic forces into the building. The strangest part about all of this is that no one was ever supposed to know about the crystal skull. The skull was only found when city workers noticed a mysterious box welded into the capstone at the top of the pyramid. They carried the box downstairs and opened it. Inside, they discovered an alien-looking skull carved out of quartz crystal.
Let me get this straight. The U.S. Navy is working to rename an aircraft carrier under construction that was set to honor a black sailor hailed for his heroic action. It is unclear, like it says here, what the Navy is seeking to change the name of the carrier to, though, too, the sources said there have been internal conversations about renaming it to honor Trump. Why this should be such a big story right now is because, like it says here, the choice of USS Doris Miller marked the first time an aircraft carrier would honor an enlisted sailor and the first aircraft carrier to be named for an African American. Thomas Bledsoe, Miller's great-nephew, said that Miller's family had not been informed of the change or the renewed effort to award his great uncle with the Medal of Honor. The family has been working to get him the Medal of Honor for years, Bledsoe said, and called the Navy's move to recommend the honor very positive.
Okay, y'all, so this video was filmed at 8:45. We just filmed it tonight, Sunday night. My camera won't even let me get a zoom all the way in. It could be because I changed my camera settings for content purposes. I don't really know. But y'all, what is this? Tell me what it is. This is a still photo I was able to get. On his photo, on his video, it looks different. He has even better video, y'all.
Here's why I think Billie Eilish sold her soul to the devil. She made this song called Good Girls Go to Heaven. Here's the opening to that video. So this is her being cast out of heaven. So now she is a fallen angel. She went against God. Watch. And when she finally lands, after being cast out of heaven, she is this demonic, dark-winged, dark-eyed creature, presumably a fallen angel. I guess you could say now a demon. She goes on to say in the song, all the good girls go to heaven, because even God herself has enemies. And once the water starts to rise and heaven's out of sight, she'll want the devil on her team. My Lucifer is lonely. This is the kind of stuff that makes you believe in God. If all these politicians, entertainers, athletes believe in the dark side, there must be a good side. As always, stay weird.
A couple months ago, I found out about this thing called surveillance pricing, where these companies and more charge you a different price and me a different price and everybody a different price based on who they think you are. It's like price tags are dead now. And I wanted to put it to the test. So I called my brother, my mom, and my best friend. Go to Target and buy Spam.
Okay.
How much is it?
$4.99.
My price is $4.59.
That's bullshit, dude.
We're gonna order the exact same ride.
Okay.
Scheduled for tomorrow at noon.
From where?
Do it from Target Field to the airport.
Here's my prices. $36.94 for the UberX.
Mine's $52.95. That is a 30% difference in price.
And for what? No difference.
Let's book the exact same hotel on the exact same night.
What's the name?
La Quinta Hotel, Denver.
Okay, $122.50.
$122?
Yeah.
My price is $84.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, it kind of sucks. 76% of people say that they don't want surveillance pricing. I don't know who the 24% are, but how much does Spam cost for you?
That is crazy, bro. Savannah's price, man, is getting out of control, man. Those different prices, bro. Hers was his mom's hotel's 122. His was only $80, bro. And don't get me started, man, on Ubers and Lyfts, bro. Those prices, they shift all the time, man. Doesn't it depend on the time sometimes too? That's crazy though, bro. Just because if you have more money than or less money than somebody else, bro, like the prices change. Should just be one set price, bro. Simple as that.
Anybody want to explain to me what the is going on right here, dog? He got a whole skull in his hands. What kind of ritual is this shit? And what you doing with that? Huh? Why you putting the skull inside that fucking statue of whatever the like that? What is this supposed to mean? What is this supposed to do? This is some weird shit. And I'm 1000% sure that's a real skull. There ain't no fake skull. And whose skull is it? Like I said, where you get that from? Why you putting it in that statue for? You be doing some diabolical ass all the time. And the math don't never be mathing with you motherfuckers. Who in their right mind just got a skull just chilling like that? Huh? I don't even understand the significance of this shit. Anybody know? Cause I don't know, dog. All I do know is this shit. That's creepy. That's creepy. And everybody just standing around like this is normal, regular, degular ass. It's not regular, degular ass. Yeah, and the audio of the video is clapping and shit, but all you can hear is my ass. That is diabolical.
Candace Owens' biggest backer, John Mappin, has released a very eerie and disturbing Christmas video. Keep in mind that he's a Scientologist and has ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, good afternoon, and a very, very happy Christmas to all of our friends all over the world, and happy holidays to those of you who don't perhaps celebrate Christmas, but you celebrate these holidays that are so important in your own way. Now, in the next 12 months, in the coming year, we are going to all be a witness to extraordinary changes. Some of those changes will be miraculous. Some of those changes will be spectacular. And some of those changes will involve things that you have never in your life seen before or have imagined that are possible. Whatever occurs and whatever changes we will experience, let us remember the friendship that is fundamental between all living souls, and let us appreciate the friendships that you, of course, out there as our friends have extended to us, and we, as your friends, extend to you at this time. From our family to yours, may we wish you a very, very happy Christmas, and we wish you the most extraordinary New Year. I hope you enjoy it.
John Mappin helped found the UK Turning Point branch. Some speculate that he's her handler. It's also been suggested that he helped arrange the marriage between Candace and George Farmer. I already mentioned he's a Scientologist who has ties to Jeffrey Epstein. But Candace Owens surrounds herself with dark characters, supporting Harvey Weinstein and Andrew Tate. When are her followers going to start asking questions about Candace?
The ball didn't drop, bro. I didn't see a drop. What the hell?
Y'all, this is exactly why you don't try to contact the dead. A group of friends were together hanging out and they decided to use a Ouija board. Not a lot happened with it, so they continued their little party together and they took some photos. Now, it just so happens the person they were trying to contact was a friend that had passed away in a car accident. But in one of the photos they took, they captured something that wasn't that friend. Standing behind the woman who owns the Ouija board is a figure. It has a very long neck. There's no defining part of the head. It looks like it's in a long black cloak, and there's an appendage coming out of the cloak with really long, lanky fingers. Now, they either invited something in with the Ouija board or didn't close out the Ouija board correctly, because this thing definitely came from that. And what it is, I'm not sure. But I would recommend getting rid of the Ouija board, because it's going to be really hard to get rid of that thing in your house. What do you guys think this is? Let me know.
That's weird, bro. So I do not mess with Ouija boards at all, man. I don't see how people would do that. Even, you know, trying to get a clip off or something like that. I can't be involved with anything with that dark energy, bro. Get that away from me.
Okay. Put your hands up. They're up. Keep them up. Okay, they're up. Keep them up. They're up. Keep them up. Don't move. Don't move them. Not moving. Now, what's the difference between RAM and storage?
The difference between RAM and storage is that RAM is temporary fast memory your computer uses right now, while storage is permanent.
Keep them up. Keep them
They're
up.
up. They're up.
Keep them up. Keep your hands up.
They're up. Storage is permanent.
He didn't believe it.
Doggen, but then who is this? Hello? I mean, I guess I could keep both of them. One could live in the walls.
That's a skinwalker, bro. Hit a whistling.
Yo.
Leave. Immediately.
Y'all, look at England. Look at what England looks like through the air, bro, in 2026. That thing looks like a desert. Just look at the ground, y'all. Look how brown and how barren everything just is, man. It looks like a wasteland. When you see it down on the ground, you might not understand the scale of it, so you gotta take it to the air to see what's really going on. And I know they're telling us drought, and I know they're telling us extreme heat, but the fact of the matter is, where is all the water going?
Took the trees. Our fruit trees. They took the trees and sold us back the fruit. Then they took the water. Rivers, rain, springs that fed civilizations for thousands of years, bottled it and sold it back to us. They took the land that existed here long before any human drew lines around it. And they said, if you want to stand here, you better have a payment plan. Everything we need to exist, food, water, shelter, was already here. Nobody created it. But somehow, you were born owing for it. Am I the only one this drives mad? I mean, why is a free life such a crazy idea? Why does simply existing without bills, debt, or permission sound like a fantasy? Why in the hell did we ever let anybody convince us that this is the way things were supposed to be?
Bro, what he was saying, making sense, man. Like you said, bro. A free life. Seekers, could you guys imagine that, man? No bills. Don't have to pay for food. We just living, existing like the old times, man, before somebody came and just started demanding that people pay for something, bro. We had to pay for our life, man. Simpler times, Seekers, bro. Simpler times, but I don't think we ever going back to that. We need a system reset, bro.
My brain is not comprehending this because the creek is down here and there's a waterfall coming back there, but it literally looks like it's coming from the log. Like there's no water flowing into that log to fall down. So where is that water coming from? Am
Trippy.
I crazy?
Where's the water coming from, bro?
Secret societies. They often come up in conspiracies or in the plot of a movie. But thanks to some work of some hacktivists, we've got a first look into how one really operates. It's called Dialogue, and it's a private, invitation-only group co-founded in 2006 by billionaire Peter Thiel. Within the trove of information accessed were the names of hundreds of participants, including sitting Trump officials, Elon Musk, and the president of OpenAI. These influential figures gather at annual retreats, including sessions labelled Bring Back Nuclear, Navigating World War III, and Build a Party, run by a former White House national security official. The hacker, Maya Arsen-Krimu, had previously exposed the US government's no-fly list and breached surveillance company Verkada. Dialogue's digital footprint is hard to spot, although a report by Axios last year showed it's lining up a major expansion with plans to build a campus in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. as a permanent hub for off-the-record meetings. None of the individuals named in the leak have responded for comment, showing their commitment to the secret in secret society.
That's eerie, bro. We got secret societies out here, man. Pay attention, Seekers, man. So we not crazy, bro. The elites, bro.
The devil has many puppets.
$100,000 to come in. I want $100,000. There are people, there are 10 people that could give $10,000. There's 100 people that can give $1,000. Get a check, make it payable to Paula White Ministry. There are people that are watching right now. If you say, I don't have it, give $100. Bring up a sacrificial seed. This isn't for me. This is about kids that will die without you being obedient. There's only 3 envelopes. I'm not moving. I'm not going to lay hands on people till you're obedient. Get out of your seat. Come on.
I don't think this is what church is supposed to be about. Stay weird.
Things you remember completely wrong. Part 4.
Jif peanut butter. Millions swear their sandwiches were made with Jiffy, but that brand never existed. It's just Jif with one F. Looney Tunes. Thousands remember this cartoon spelled T-O-O-N-S, but it has always been T-U-N-E-S because it originally started as a musical showcase. Smokey Bear. Everyone grew up calling the wildfire prevention mascot Smokey the Bear. His official name has never included the word "the." Pringles and Monopoly Man. Millions vividly picture both of these iconic mascots wearing a fancy black monocle over their eye. In reality, neither of them has ever worn one.
Nah, that last one with the Pringles, bro, I do remember, man. I think seeing a monocle one time, bro, over the Pringles guys. And Monopoly, man, you can't lie to me and say that he never was wearing those glasses before, man. I've seen that plenty of times, bro. They're trying to Mandela affect us seekers.
Somebody explain to me, who is this guy right here? Something is going on with this guy right here. People are saying that they think it's a bodysuit, but I don't believe it. Something is going on with that guy. Who's this? Huh? Who is this guy right here? Because something is up with him, bro. Why does he walk like that? Why does he look like that? Why is he hiding his neck? See how long his neck looks? Something is going on with this guy. Look at him. People have the nerve to say that they think that this is a undercover alien. And I said that's not true. This is a human being, all right? Don't say things that are not true. The guy that's with him knows exactly who he is. Something's going on here, guys, and I think that they're starting to come out pretending to be one of us. This is what people are saying. I don't believe that. This is a normal person, bro. I don't know what it is. It's the way he walks. Look at him. Something is going on with this guy, bro. I'm just playing around, guys. Entertainment purposes only. This is a normal guy just coming out the store, buying something with his friend. Ain't nothing to worry about here. I don't know who he is. Maybe you know who he is. Let me know. I'm out.
Who is that?
You see it swinging? Maybe.
Oh,
Whoa!
what happened?
That doll.
Fucking
the doll.
kidding me? That fell first.
Well, there's someone in here right now. There's someone right here.
Victor.
There's someone right here in this door right now.
This Oliver Tree situation keeps getting stranger the more you look into it. So Oliver Tree passes away at 32 2 weeks before his 33rd birthday. Shortly before his trip to Brazil, he collaborates with another Mexican artist named Malcriada, and together they make a Mr. Pizza series, which is supposed to be this dreamlike weird core aesthetic. They're teaching kids to be aware of adults offering things like gifts and candy and Roblox cards for no reason. Teaching kids to be aware of strangers asking to meet them alone, basically teaching kids to spot the danger signs. And the bad guy in the video is named Mr. Pizza. And I'm sure we all know what pizza is by now. If not, you've probably been living under a rock. Now keep in mind, Oliver Tree left Atlantic Records on the 1st of April saying that he was frustrated with the label. And apparently he said it was like a nightmare. He was trying to release his album Love You Madly, Hate You Badly, and it was cancelled. Fast forward, he releases his album independently by himself after leaving Atlantic Records. Around the same time, he starts dropping these videos with Mr. Pizza. Now, I'm not saying anything for sure, I'm just saying that the timeline is interesting. But let me know what you guys think.
You are looking at the preserved blood vessels of a Tyrannosaurus rex. These have been isolated from a T-Rex fossil, and a paper was just published that finally reveals a little bit more about how this can happen. It's been almost 2 decades since scientists first published that they could get these stretchy examples of soft tissue from non-bird dinosaurs, and at the time, it was very controversial, and it's continued to be controversial over the decades. However, the evidence continues to suggest that the people who are arguing that this is real biological material from the non-bird dinosaurs, the evidence continues to suggest they were right.
She a brave soul. She knew she just survived, man. Could you guys imagine, bro? Having to stand like completely still, man. As a freaking gorilla, bro, walks past you. You have to have nerves of steel, bro. You couldn't pay me to do that.
RPGs.
Red skies again, bro? This is like the second time this happened this year, man. It's like an episode of Stranger Things. The Earth is trying to warn us, man.
Of America, triangle-shaped object spotted over Area 51. Now, we have pictures of it, and some people believe that this is a new form of aircraft that's superior to anything on Earth that we know of. Now, this is an image that was spotted over Area 51. Some people believe this is a Boeing F-47 that's being tested right now. Other people believe it's an unknown type of aircraft that we're developing, and God only knows what its purpose is. Now, this is different than the Dorito that was spotted over Area 51 just months ago. Now, here's an image of the Boeing F-47. Some people believe that this might be the aircraft that's in that image. I think it looks very similar. And if it isn't this, it could be a modified form of this aircraft for maybe another purpose down the line. Now, I've always thought that they were testing secret aircraft there, as well as downed UFOs and downed alien equipment. But it looks like we're up to developing something that'll probably subjugate the world because of our power. So that's actually quite awesome to see that being built.
The amount of water that AI uses is astonishing. According to a report by the Washington Post, if you ask ChatGPT to write you a 100-word email, it uses 519 milliliters.
One data center able to use 5 million gallons, the same amount of water as a medium-sized town, in one day, and it doesn't go back into the water system.
Bruh, what did I tell y'all about this water shit, bruh? Billionaires are investing in water, bruh.
According to some unverified sources, this image right here is a real image of a real reptilian alien creature that lived amongst humans in a small town in the Netherlands. Now, the image went pretty viral back in 2024, particularly on Twitter. Now, this person who posted about it goes on to explain that people believed he suffered from a strange illness and were afraid to touch him, never realizing he was a reptilian. Now, this right here is apparently how reptilian alien creatures look, according to eyewitnesses. And according to UFO enthusiasts, the reptilian creatures come from the Draconian star system that is located roughly 270 light years from Earth. Now, I ran the image through AI detection programs and it says that no AI was used when producing this image. What do you think? Did reptilian creatures live in the Netherlands amongst humans? Let me know in the comments.
Also saw a Nordic alien? I did, on Orcas Island. I was visiting a friend there, and I woke up the next morning after we were talking about a bunch of stuff, and he'd gone down to the store, which is quite a ways away from his property, to get some food. And so I'm like, oh, it's a beautiful day. I'm going to take a walk on his property. He had like 20 acres in the woods. So I start walking, and I come over this ridge, and there'd been no one out, and all of a sudden there's this person who literally looks like a male model, like a Scandinavian male model with kind of longish blonde hair in a weird kind of more like European clothes, whatever. And they say, hello, Brent. Like they're about 20 feet, a little bit further down the hill. And I'm thinking, how's he know my name? Secondly, I did not see his mouth move. And I was like, hello. And he said, turn around and walk the other way. But he's not looking threatening. And I kind of was like, got it, on it. Turn and I walk away. And now I'm getting a little bit freaked out. I get a ways down and I look back and he's not there anymore. My friend comes back and I say, okay, I just had a really weird experience. He goes, oh, with one of those tall white people? I'm like, what do you know about them? And he goes, they have a compound on the Orcas Island and they come in a black helicopter unmarked to a facility that's all gated and there's about 8 of them. And they come here and they stay here for a couple days at a time, apparently when this energy is really high, and they get recharged.
It's there. Oh, it jumped. What
It's this big spider. What you doing if you wake up to that in your room?
That's what I'm doing, see, cause I'm out, bro. I can't stay in that room no more, man. Actually, scratch that. I can't stay in the house no more, man. We out, bro. Spider that big. We don't do that over here, Seekers.
So I'm Kelly Osbourne, and I just want to take a second to thank the people of Birmingham for not only showing my family so much love, but for showing up for my father in a way that made him the happiest man on the planet.
The person you just saw in that video is Kelly Osbourne today, and if she's no longer the same person, it's because of something very serious. Very few people have noticed it, but Kelly and her mother Sharon both went through the exact same transformation at the same time, and when you put their photos side by side, it's hard to believe it happened naturally. Kelly went from the person everyone knew to someone who was almost unrecognizable. It's not just a matter of weight. Her entire face seems to have changed, and her features no longer look the same. Even her eyes look different. Many of her fans openly admit that they struggle to recognize her today. But the most disturbing part is that the exact same thing happened to her mother, Sharon. Extreme weight loss in a very short period of time, a face that looks nothing like it used to, and all of it happened at the same time as her daughter's transformation. What makes it strange is that they're from the same family, and above all, that it happened simultaneously, as if they had been given the same instructions. Because a transformation like that within a family is already rare, but two happening at the same time is not a coincidence, especially when dozens of other celebrities seem to be going through the exact same process right now. Nobody is asking why a mother and daughter became unrecognizable at the same time. At this point, the real question is how many more celebrities will go through this before someone finally dares to ask why they're doing it.
Convinced the family she was 12 years old and got adopted, but she's really a serial con artist who's pulled off some genuinely unhinged scams. First, she tricked a pastor of a church into believing she was a young autistic girl named Gabriella who escaped an abusive home. She gained the trust of the congregation and not only received financial assistance, but had a family take her in. She drank milk out of a bottle, used a pacifier, faked night terrors, and spoke in a fake high-pitched voice. She claimed she was forced to take hormones, which affected her physical appearance, and her new family believed it for over a year, even throwing her a birthday party. But that's when a relative thought something was a bit off with Gabriella and did some digging. Turns out this wasn't Gabriella's first rodeo. She's 37 and has done this at least 3 other times, one of which involved her inserting around 100 needles into her own skin to convince the family she was a victim of witchcraft rituals. She even conned a politician into buying and furnishing her an entire apartment and would just flee from state to state every time she got caught.
There's a big 33 theory on Oliver Tree. Do you know that 333 weeks ago, Kobe died the same way Oliver Tree died? 33 weeks ago. Exactly. Yes. And on his Instagram, he just reached 3.3 million followers. Oh, shit. And he was 2 weeks away from turning 33.
Oh, he was 32 and he was 33.
Yes.
Okay, do you think Oliver Tree is gone for sure?
Yes.
Because there's some people saying
no, there's too much evidence. He was playing with a line that you should never cross with the elites. Playing that a lot. 100%. I don't believe that he's faking. No, they made sure to get him out here.
That's true because he was a threat.
Yes.
Because what I heard is that he was trying to get out of his deal.
Yes.
Well, he became an independent artist recently, a couple months ago.
Yes.
All of a sudden, he's taken out. And people are comparing it to other Atlantic Records artists that have also...
As soon as they get out the deal.
So one of them being Juice WRLD, another being Lil Peep. Oh,
I'm a conspiracy theorist, but you don't have to be one to find this weird. Do you know what Cabbage Patch Dolls are? They were marketed as a fantasy, babies grown in a field complete with their own birth certificate, like you were adopting your own child. But what if these dolls were based on a real event that we didn't learn about in history class? In the 1800s and the early 1900s, we saw hundreds of thousands of orphan children being sent out on trains and even shipped through the mail. Where did all of these children come from? Were they the children of parents who were thrown into insane asylums because there was a surge of these as well during that same time frame? Or is it something deeper that's been quietly buried over time? I know this sounds crazy, but when you start looking at the artwork from this era, the symbolism, even mention of children in fields, something feels off. Here's where it gets really weird. There's a passage in the book of Jasher that describes children sprouting forth from the earth like grass. Coincidence? Maybe. It talks about the ancient Israelites when they were in Egypt, and it says they left their children upon the field and returned home. Elohim ordered his earth to receive them, which the earth opened up its mouth and vomited them forth, and they sprouted forth from the city like the herb of the earth and the grass of the forest. The ancient Egyptians tried plowing the field, but they were unable to hurt the infants. It does make you wonder why certain ideas show up through time and then get reshaped into something harmless like a children's toy. Of course, we are told the absolute truth about our history. I'm sure there is nothing significant that has ever been simplified, reframed, or forgotten, or turned into a children's toy. But I don't know. Let me know what you think.
He found Whitney
Interesting
Houston.
theory.
He mentored Diddy. He ran the music industry for decades. And allegedly, he taught his protege how to control everything, how to build an empire, how to keep secrets buried forever. Now Clive Davis is gone, but his legacy allegedly still haunts every corner of the business. Clive Davis, 94 years old, passed away, considered by some to be the most evil man in music, the Jeffrey Epstein of the industry, a man who allegedly groomed young talent while building an empire on their backs. He found Whitney Houston, gave her a career, then watched what happened to her. Go look up her last interview with him. The tension, the fear, the way she looked at him. It is telling, very telling. He co-founded Bad Boy Records, mentored Sean Combs, gave him all the tools, taught him how to control everyone around him, how to use power, how to collect leverage. And allegedly, Clive was the one collecting the intel and the parties, the tapes, the secrets that kept him untouchable for decades. He held secrets on everybody. He knew where the bodies were buried. And now that he is gone, those secrets might finally see the light, allegedly.
POV, you're working at the Queen Mary and actually caught a ghost on camera.
Guys, we swear this isn't scripted. We hear something.
Here too.
I'm not going down there, but I'm also not staying alone, so...
Stay together.
That's by the haunting!
Okay, y'all, so since my Disney video did numbers, a lot of people have been asking me about Miss Keke Palmer. And listen, this one right here, it gets interesting. Keke has been in the industry since she was a child. You see a lot, you learn a lot, and you get exposed to things the public will never know about. Now, I'm not saying that she's tied to anything dark, allegedly, but she has done her share of one-eye imagery, you know, one-eye symbolism. And y'all know how that goes. And then she's attended the Met Gala multiple times. And if you know the history behind the Met Gala, then you already know why people side-eye anybody who walks through those doors. But here's the part that always stuck with me. When she talked to Shannon Sharpe about the kissing scene Jump In, a Disney movie with her and Corbin Bleu, she admitted she was a kid kissing a grown man on camera. And everyone around her pretty much normalized it.
I'm looking at the Disney movie Jump In, 12 years old, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was your first kiss.
Yes.
So how did that go over with your parents?
So, you know, it was actually a big thing for all of us because I was 12 and Corbin was 17. So that was very, you know, weird. So I remember I had a call with my agent and I was like, you know, I'm scared about this. This is weird. And she was like, well, you know, Making Good had to kiss Samuel L. Jackson and Eve's Bayou. So. And I was just like.
What?
Huh? What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, that's me. I've heard that's me.
Yeah, I feel like shit. That was weird too. It's a weird thing that happens with kid entertainers where we have to literally dissociate so much.
Yes.
As an adult would in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
In ways that's not normal or common.
Correct.
Now, her mom was and is till this day her manager, and she approved the scene. I don't know, that's always been strange to me. Keke always praises her mom, but that moment feels off. And let's not forget about the whole thing that happened with her baby's father, Darius Jackson. Felt like a whole humiliation ritual, but that's a whole nother video. So whether it was one-eye symbolism, the Disney child star pipeline, or that public humiliation situation with her ex, these patterns aren't new. They're part of a bigger blueprint that we've watched play out over and over again. Now, I'm not accusing her of anything, but I'm also not ignoring the signs. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments.
I still can't believe how many people don't realise, but you actually can't walk into an Australian supermarket anymore without facial recognition machine deciding how much of a criminal you are. Bunnings scanned the faces of hundreds of thousands of Australians across 63 stores, and the Privacy Commissioner ruled that it actually broke the law. Even Kmart was doing it. Every customer at the returns counter across 28 stores, face captured, run against the database, and the regulator found that it's illegal too. But the part you need to be worried about is that Bunnings actually appealed the ruling and a tribunal said they can keep using it. So basically it's been legalised. Now when you walk into Coles or Woolies, cameras on the ceiling assign you a digital ID and they track you down every single aisle. The self-checkout even films you scanning a lemon and it plays it back to an AI so that it can decide if you've been honest or not. One Woolies store actually put 500 mini cameras on the shelf. At Gates, it locks you inside until the AI decides that you've paid for everything. Theft is the reason they give every single time, but investors were actually told that cutting theft back to previous levels could lift Coles' profit by up to 9%. So this was never really about keeping you safe. It was chasing the money, basically. Except now you're the product, the suspect, and the checkout worker all at once. Welcome to 2026, where being treated like a data point instead of a human is the new normal. And the law isn't ready to protect us yet either. If you found this interesting and you want more cybersecurity news, give this a follow and stay vigilant.
I don't know if Trump's seen this yet, but when he see it, he gonna be mad. So I'm guessing since he cares so much about that contaminated reflecting pool, somebody done went and put him and his crew on some swamp animals. And I know it's gonna piss him off now. Look at this right here. And this is all across Washington, D.C. Look at Stephen Miller right there. That's a vampire. One thing you know about the president, he don't like to be the butt of nobody's jokes. And look at him, right there under that bridge. Look at Ted Cruz right there. And then look at the National Guard right here. You know, they had the National Guard standing by that reflecting pool, arresting people like it's not nothing else better to do. You're going to waste tax money to put these men out there, and now you the butt of somebody's joke. This is all through Washington, D.C. And that one right there, that's going to make him real mad. Look at your boy, Kash Patel. Now let's see how much taxpayers' dollars they're going to use to get this down, or either get this person to stop doing what he's doing. This right here is the true meaning of drain the swamp. They're gonna call a big meeting over this, because you know this man is real sensitive. He don't like people playing with him. And they got him and his boys all over D.C. Yeah, man.
Get to the top, there's so many people who are not human. What you're seeing right now with Trump is clones. That is not him. We've talked about this before, but some of the people around him, so say he's in an interview and then he kind of deflects and lets people answer questions for him. These are also the handlers of the clone. And some of these people are also not human.
Well, Biden's clone was exposed in the files.
I know.
He died in 2019.
Yeah, he's been gone a long time. Bill and Hillary, how Congress is pulling them in for the Epstein, they've been gone a long time too. So they are now interacting with clones of Hillary and Bill.
That makes sense, because they barely do any public appearances anymore. They used to do a lot.
Yes, they've been gone for a long time, along with many other people.
Yeah. We found out, bro. Still got clones running around in the big 2026, bro. That theory, man, gets my head turning.
What would you do if y'all came out and you seen this giant melanated woman just staring up at the sky? Y'all see this, y'all?
Okay, guys, walking outside to take the trash out would blow your mind if you saw this. Why is there a giant just walking around in the middle of the night? Why is he there? He, she, do you see it? I know I ain't tripping, but what would you do? You walk outside to take your trash out and you see this just, roaming around day and night. What you think?
See, Guardians of the Galaxy was literally telling us that these trees are living beings, because how is this possible? And that looks like some ancient being, some ancient melanated being. Looks like it's got a basket on its head. Yeah, I don't know, man. I see so many different things. Is this what they mean by the Jolly Green Giant? Because, there are trees even bigger than this. But this is amazing, y'all. But yeah, let me know in the comments, y'all. Let's get this.
Imagine being licked by your dog and then losing all your limbs. That's exactly what happened to 54-year-old Marie Trainer when her dog licked her, and as a result, she had to get her arms and legs amputated. This all happened 4 days after she came back from the Caribbean. She began feeling sick, and at first she thought it was just the flu, but she was then rushed to the hospital when she noticed her arms and legs were turning black. Marie was then put in a 10-day coma, and it was discovered that she had an infection called capnocytophaga, Salmonella, which is a bacteria commonly found in dog saliva. So it's believed that Marie scratched herself on vacation, and when she came back home, her dog licked the scratch and infected her with the bacteria. Doctors say that this bacteria can be transmitted through a bite or sometimes just contact with saliva.
2025
Insane.
just got even crazier. Part 44. Firstly, a Spirit Airlines flight from Philadelphia to San Juan, Puerto Rico has gone viral because of the radar map. It shows Spirit Airlines going through a Category 5 hurricane. Now I know this might look devastating, but if the pilot flies above it and knows what he's doing, it can be safe. Now, that's the spirit. Next, the animal rights organization PETA is calling out Nintendo to change the ring on the cow in Mario Kart World because they claim that the ring is a reminder of the industries that treat animals like profit-making machines and claim they want a redesign of the character. What do you all think about this? Finally, I am super sad I just missed this because China just had the first humanoid robot Olympics, officially known as the Humanoid Robot Games. And at this event, they had humanoid robots compete in games and in activities. And these robots came from 16 different countries around the world. Why did nobody tell me this was happening? Because this is amazing. It's crazy how far advanced our world is right now.
Who got first place?
I just learned today. Apparently less than 10% of all plastic has ever actually been recycled. Orange chicken was invented at a Hawaiian Panda Express in 1987. Boeing once filled an airplane with potatoes to test its in-flight Wi-Fi because potatoes mimic the way humans absorb and reflect wireless signals. Sometimes I feel like a potato. I guess sun exposure can cause skin cancer, which is an obvious one, but it also reduces overall mortality rates, including from cancer.
How?
Apparently the population density of Manhattan is now 40% lower than it was in 1910, when it peaked at 2.2 million residents. That's a lot of people back then. Now it only has 1.6. Also, Central Park is only the 6th biggest park in New York City. That one blows my mind. Apparently Burger King is not allowed to use the name Burger King in Mattoon, Illinois, because there is a restaurant there already protected, as they made the name a state trademark in 1959 and have defended it in court against Burger King.
Blood curdling facts that will make your skin crawl. Let's go. People in ancient times used to believe that if you drank the blood of a fallen warrior, you would absorb their power. Tarantulas are said to taste like shrimp. Polar bears are known to be the only animal to hunt down and track humans. Scorpions can hold their breath underwater for 6 days. Your body produces a cancerous cell every 30 minutes. If you try to suppress a sneeze, there's a chance that a blood vessel in your head will burst and you'll die. A cockroach can live without its head for 9 days before it dies of starvation. If you learned something, leave a like and maybe even follow.
Especially about the last time with the cardboard. I learned that in 9 days.
The family of Irina Zarutska, the Ukrainian woman who was fatally stabbed on a train in North Carolina, is speaking out publicly, asking people to stop sharing the footage that has been circulating showing her death. 23-year-old Irina moved from Ukraine to Charlotte, North Carolina. She had been working full-time at a local pizzeria and taking community college classes to improve her English. On August 22nd, she texted her boyfriend that she would be home soon, but she never arrived, and when she didn't come home, loved ones checked her phone location and saw that it was still at a train station. When they arrived at the station, they learned that Irina had been killed on the Blue Line train that she was taking home. DeCarlos Brown Jr. stabbed Irina to death, and there is footage of this from inside the train, but again, her family has asked that it no longer be shared online. Brown was arrested at the state level and charged with first-degree murder, and then he was arrested and charged in federal court with one count of committing an act causing death on a mass transportation system, which is a crime that could land him the death penalty. Now, Irina's family is fighting for change, calling her death the most horrific way to lose a life. In a statement, the family said, quote, "This could have been anyone riding the light rail that night. We are committed to making sure this never happens again." They are calling for a full investigation into, quote, "lapses in security protocols and failures within the public transportation system." They are citing a lack of visible or effective security presence on the Blue Line, failure of oversight in the contract between the Charlotte area transit system and professional security system, and the absence of adequate safety measures they believe could have prevented the attack. The family said, "We are heartbroken beyond words. Irina came here to find peace and safety, and instead her life was stolen from her in the most horrific way. No family should have to go through this. So they are fighting for change in the wake of her death so her legacy can live on to help others. Rest in peace, Irina. The man who killed Irina Zaruska had been arrested 14 times before he committed the murder, including most recently in January when he was released from prison on a promise. DeCarlos Brown Jr. has been arrested at least 14 times in his 34 years of life for offenses ranging from possession of a firearm by a felon to robbery with a dangerous weapon. In 2014, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for robbery with a dangerous firearm. He has also been arrested for physically assaulting his sister. On January 19, 2025, he was arrested for misuse of the 911 system. He had called 911 in the middle of police officers conducting a welfare check on him. And during the encounter, Brown, who is diagnosed with schizophrenia, told officers that he believed there was a man-made material inside his body controlling his eating, walking, and talking. According to his arrest affidavit, quote, Brown wanted officers to investigate this man-made material that was inside his body. Officers advised Brown that the issue was a medical issue and that there was nothing further they could do. But this angered Brown, leading him to call 911 with officers arresting him on the spot. He was charged with a misdemeanor, and at the time of the murder, this misdemeanor was still pending. He was in jail after this arrest, but he was released pending the hearing. The judge authorized his release based upon a, quote, written promise that Brown would return for his court hearing. And several months after this release, he murdered Irina on the train. Now he has been charged both by the state and federally for Irina's murder. And he will likely be spending the rest of his life in prison, if not getting a death penalty.
Mysterious things that can't be explained.
Crazy case.
There are a lot of scary things deep underwater. Not to mention all the creepy things that we haven't discovered yet. But what we have discovered in this world are snakes. And generally, we don't really think about snakes being underwater. But just a few years ago, in a video taken from a river in what appears to be South America, a fisherman catches a huge giant underwater snake swimming through the murky water. The fisherman grabs the tail of the snake from his boat and holds onto it while it tries to swim away. The camera moves to the left and shows just how big this snake really is.
Damn.
The man lets go and it soon disappears underwater. If you look closely, the snake appears to be a little bit bigger in the middle. Many people say that it's the snake's most recent meal making its way through the body. Seeing this video makes you wonder, just how big was this snake and how many more are out there?
Got some Anaconda movie vibes, bro. How big that snake was, man. Usually they'll think of snake as, like I said, as an underwater creature, man. Makes you think.
This 10-year-old boy was crushed to death because his babysitter decided to sit on him until he passed out. The boy was about 90 pounds. The babysitter is about 340, so obviously that's going to cause some damage to a child. Jennifer Wilson also told police that she thought the boy was faking it, but then she realized he stopped moving and his eyelids were unusually pale. Now, first and foremost, no body shaming here, but obviously if you're a heavier person sitting on a kid, that's going to cause some damage. Even someone at a lower weight, like 180, 170 pounds, sitting on a kid would do some damage to them like this. Child Services had actually assigned her to him about 1 month earlier. The Ring camera doorbell footage showed her sitting on his head and neck, and you can hear his cries fading and fading. He's like thrashing and screaming around, but it starts to fade more. After she realizes what she's done, she told the other foster kids to call 911. She has 3 other adopted foster kids living with her. She also told police that she was sitting on him because he was misbehaving. He had run over to a neighbor's house earlier and gone missing. She had to go find him. I'm not sure whether or not she had ill intent. It doesn't seem like it so far, but regardless, a kid died. Her foster parent license has been suspended and is up for renewal. However, it's under review right now for revocation. Let me know your opinions on this.
Shouldn't even be up for renewal. She sat on him. She's 340 pounds. Yeah, like I said, that's going to cause damage. The kid's only 90 pounds. What do you think was going to happen?
IShowSpeed conspiracy theory is bizarre. So one of the most popular live streamers, IShowSpeed, is currently touring America and is visiting professional sports teams in different cities. However, after he visits them, people have noticed it's caused bad luck. Because when Speed started his tour, he was given this Miami Dolphins jersey. Well, after this, the Miami Dolphins lost their first game. He then went up to Atlanta and met with the Atlanta Falcons. After this, the Atlanta Falcons lost their first NFL game as well. But we're just getting started. Oh, I can't leave out that he also played football with Lamar Jackson, who is the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens. Well, the Baltimore Ravens lost their first game, and he then went to a baseball game, the Pittsburgh Pirates. But the day he went, the Pittsburgh Pirates also lost their game. We're still not done. Because he also went to the Chicago Cubs stadium, and that same day, they weren't at the stadium, but they lost as well. And I can't leave out that he even went to a Chicago Bears game, which is the NFL, and they lost that game. However, there was at least one case where the team won, but man, I had to make this video because this is some serious bad luck.
For Bodkin Adams, he had a skewed concept, a high opinion of his own medical abilities, and an early inflated sense of entitlement. He did not think of himself as a murderer.
Shipman did not think of himself as a murderer, but rather as a superior and talented doctor. He was verbally aggressive, grandiose, and had contempt for those he considered to be his intellectual inferiors. And other than Mrs. Grundy, there was no indication that he was motivated by money. What was he motivated by?
Death. He was motivated by death. He experienced a feeling of pleasure from his association with death. He often said it was for the best that the patient died. He seems to have persuaded himself that his actions were in some way justifiable.
2025 just got even crazier, part 43. Firstly, we've all heard of people getting their bike stolen or car stolen, right? It's pretty common. Well, what's not common is a 75-year-old man in California has had his private plane repeatedly stolen by a mysterious suspect who takes the plane on a joyride and then returns it in good condition. And the 75-year-old man even removed the plane's battery so it wouldn't get stolen. Well, the mysterious man replaced the plane's battery and then took the plane on another joyride and returned it in good condition. At this point, they should just share the plane because they still have no idea who's doing this.
Wow.
Next, this typhoon just swept through Taiwan, leaving around 102 people injured, and it made 8,000 people evacuate. And as unfortunate as this is, the internet just can't take this seriously because of the forecast map from this typhoon. Everyone, stay safe out there, honestly. But the internet, have some respect, please.
The most unhealthiest foods in the world. Deep fried foods.
Makes sense.
Packaged snacks. Sugary beverage.
Gotta stay away from the soda, y'all.
Instant noodles. Ice cream. Fast food burgers. Candies. Microwave popcorn.
Damn, it's all bad for you.
White bread. Pizza. Vinegar veggies. Frozen meals. Breakfast cereals. Canned soup and veggies. Artificial sweeteners. Alcohol. Bottled juice.
Damn, everything bad for you.
What you've all been waiting for, part 2 of The Anthill Kids. In 1984, the group relocated to a site near Burnt River, Ontario. His drinking problem continued to worsen, so he left behind being a motivational speaker. As he descended further into madness, it became all about control. Members of the group weren't even allowed to talk to each other without him present. As always, he used his charismatic talents to cover his erratic behavior. He then began to inflict punishments on those he thought were straying from the group. He would strike them with belts, hammers, suspend them from the ceilings, and even individually pluck out their hairs. They made their money by selling baked goods, and those who didn't sell enough were punished. Over time, the punishments became more extreme and violent. Some of it I can't mention, but here's a summary of a few of the things he did. Forcing members to break their own legs with sledgehammers, having them sit on a lit stovetop, shooting each other in the shoulder, and even eating mice. This extended to the children of the group, and in 1987, 17 were taken away by social workers. He faced no repercussions, and the authorities couldn't do anything, which is because he was technically a legal church. In 1989, one follower named Solange complained of an upset stomach, which he then performed an amateur surgery on her, killing her. He even attempted to bring her body back to life, claiming he had powers of resurrection. This woman, Gabrielle Lavallée, got the worst, having teeth removed, needles broken off in her skin, and her arm amputated by a chainsaw. She reported him to the police, and he was arrested for assault, and finally murder. In 2011, he was murdered in prison by being stabbed in the neck.
That kid has had twists and turns, man. The things people do, man, when they're in a group like that, the one specific person holds all the power. Very dangerous person to be around.
The walking statue of Augusta Bittner. This one is quite a cool Pennsylvania legend. The statue is located here in the Lancaster Cemetery, and it supposedly walks around. She died in 1906 at the young age of only 22. And there are so many different stories of how she died, from tripping on her wedding dress and breaking her neck, to even being murdered by her husband. I've even heard that she died during childbirth and haunts the cemetery looking for her baby. Either way, there are so many stories of people claiming to see the statue walking around, spirits roaming around, and even tears running down the statue's face. Let's make a deal. You get this video 350k likes, I will live stream at the Lancaster Cemetery and we'll look for the statue. Y'all ain't gonna do it.
I need to see if you get that goal.
What Jesus looked like in different world cultures. America. Israel. China. South Africa. Japan.
Interesting seeing everybody's different points of views.
Ethiopia. Germany. Mexico. India.
Seems like they're all based off that one picture.
Today we're going to be taking a look at the most disturbing things caught on night camera. Now on Reddit, users will share their recordings of their night camera, capturing what they think is either paranormal activity or some other unusual occurrence. And today we're going to be taking a look at these, and at the end we're going to be determining which ones are real or fake. The one at the very end is the scariest. I'm going to be looking at my screen because I'm going to be reacting to this video live with you guys. Okay, weird object knocks out a man. So this happened a few days ago in my hometown in Colombia. A real fast and strange object knocked a man down to the floor through the stairs. He had 24 stitches at the hospital. Alright, let's take a look at this.
Looks like he's going upstairs somewhere. Like this is like the front yard, maybe the backyard or something. The front yard. Okay, where'd you go?
I was seeing he's out the
I don't
plane.
see any orbs or anything. Oh. What just happened?
That looks like an edit. I'm gonna have to call a cop on that
Oh my
one.
god. Are those the neighbors that just heard him fall? Let's take another look at that. If we run this back, watch this orb in slow motion. I mean, this orb, bam. I mean, this guy is knocked out cold. He fell down from those concrete steps, and it looks like he almost hit his head on the car. I mean, Jesus. What did the comments say about this? It was just something tied to the door to hold it open. If you watch, the door starts to close right before it happened. Was this the door? Yeah, I have no idea. What do you guys think about that one? Okay, this next one is titled, I am on a trip and just saw this on our camera, and I am slightly freaked out. Some context. We went on a cruise and set up a camera to watch our cats while we were away. We were just watching a few recordings and saw this happen to our pillows, and we have a third cat, but we don't think this was her. What are your thoughts here? Alright, let's take a look at this video. Okay, so we got some sweet kittens playing on the bed. Looking at... Okay, the pillow's moving. Bruh. Yeah, no way. No way. Nope. Dude, I'm sorry, but these people setting up these night cameras in front of their bed are psychotic. If I'm on a cruise and my cats are on a bed and I just saw my own pillow get flipped over from nothing, I am going to get off of that cruise ship and go home. There's no way I'm leaving my cats there. Okay, this one is my personal favorite. This one is titled, Ghost Child Caught on Camera. A little backstory. My husband's best friend used to live in the house in the video. He caught some crazy orb ring camera videos and always felt something was in the house. He ended up getting a divorce and sold the house. A couple months ago, after the new owners moved in, an old neighbor got a hold of my husband's friend and told him that the new owners wanted to know if he had ever had any paranormal activity when he lived there. They sent him this video they had caught in their living room, and he sent them his orb videos. The family was not home when this video was captured. The family does have children, but again, no one was home. The couple who captured this video are getting a divorce, and the house is back on the market. To me, the child in this video looks and sounds like a little girl saying, "Help." Thoughts? Let's watch it. So this is a 3-second clip, and look at the upstairs. Bro, I just got chills all over my body. Look at the upstairs. There is something just running. It looks like a little girl just running upstairs. Honestly, the first time I saw this video, I was looking at this entire setup, the way the camera is angled, even how the living room and the upstairs looks. Does this not remind anybody else about Paranormal Activity, like the movies? This looks like the start of one of the most disturbing horror movies to come out of 2025. Out of all three of those, which ones do you think were the most disturbing? Do you think some of these were real? Do you think all of these were real? Do you think some of these were fake? I'm curious to know how you would explain some of these. And also, too, let me know, do you guys have any ghost stories? Have you ever captured something on camera and, thought maybe it was something out of this world? If you've ever captured like a ghost video, feel free to email me it or DM me on Instagram the video, and I'd love to react to it for a video. Make sure to like and follow for more videos tomorrow, and I hope you guys have
In the entire world. This grieving mother added a sandbox to her little boy's grave who passed away unexpectedly. Now his older brother plays in it every time they go to visit his grave. After her daughter died in 1872 from yellow fever, a heartbroken mother wanted to make sure she would never be alone again. Since the little girl was afraid of storms, there was actually a staircase built to her coffin. And during thunderstorms, the mother would actually enter the tomb and comfort her child. This is the grave of a boy who passed away due to an incurable sickness in 1865. And before he passed away, he told his father that he was scared to die because he knew he would be buried underground with no lights. So when the boy passed away, the parents put a window in the grave so he would always have light.
Hey man, those parents and their dedication to their kids, amazing, man. Each and every single one, man, they kind of made for a way where they're not alone.
Here's some of the scariest cursed objects that actually exist.
Talk about
Part 6. One of the most famous and famously cursed objects in the world is the Hope Diamond. This 45.5 carat diamond was formed in the Earth 1.1 billion years ago. And since its discovery, many notable people have owned it. As it was passed down from person to person, a terrible curse was said to follow it, causing great misfortune to anyone who owned it. It's been known to cause disgrace, divorce, suicide, imprisonment, torture, and financial ruin. It now resides in the Smithsonian Natural History Museum in Washington, D.C., where it can be observed by the public. It is never lended out for any reason due to its worth of $250 million, and to prevent the curse from harming any more people.
Did you know that big?
The founder of Jack Daniels passed away after kicking a safe. His broken toe was infected and he eventually passed away from blood poisoning. A study from Harvard says that having no friends is equally as deadly as smoking because they both cause blood clotting proteins in your body. This woman was elected to the House of Representatives 4 years before women were allowed to vote. Michael Jackson wanted to play Jar Jar Binks in the Star Wars prequel, but George Lucas and Michael Jackson disagreed on how they were going to portray him. George Lucas wanted CGI, while Michael Jackson wanted to play him in actual makeup and prosthetics. The country of Denmark has more than double the amount of pigs than the amount of people. It only takes 20 seconds for red blood cells to circuit through your whole body. When Mount Everest was first measured in 1856, it measured exactly 29,000 feet, but they made it 29,002 because they thought nobody would believe it.
Okay. That's just some facts, man. Top in. We're learning out here today, Seekers.
He went to check why the water wasn't running, and the reason why is horrifying. Late at night, Diego from TikTok had his water supply cut off. When he went to check the water meter, this happened. No, yo no sé.
You saw that, right?
He hears her growl and sees what looks like the face of a person. Is this the face of an unsettled spirit in that area, or is it something else?
I think that could
Here
just
are
been
the
a person
creepiest
under
things kids have
there.
ever said. And before I tell you these, I feel like I'm obliged to say, I'm so sorry. First up, we've got Monster Under the Bed. One night, a young girl couldn't sleep because apparently there was something under her bed. When her parents came into the room to say go back to sleep because there's nothing under her bed, she replied with, I know. He's behind you now. Like, I'm sorry. Next up, a 4-year-old girl was found in the bathroom by her mum with all of her Barbies. But she was making them float face down in the bath. When the mum asked what she was doing, she replied with, the man in the wardrobe told me if I didn't do it, it would be my turn to swim face down. Next up, a 3-year-old boy was softly singing in a room while colouring in a picture. His mum actually stopped to listen because she'd never heard the song before. When she asked where he learnt it, he said the lady in my bedroom sang it to me. And finally, a 5-year-old asked his mum when he was going to be 23. His mum said in 18 years' time, and he replied with, well, I hope I don't die again, as that was how old I was the last time I went to heaven. Tell me which story made you go, what the fuck, the most? And shares with a friend to just creep him out because you're a good person. Now everyone with me. Elon!
I think it was the last one for me that creeped me out the most.
Never get this pedicure because you may end up losing all your toes like this woman did. In 2010, 29-year-old Victoria Curthoys went to Thailand and got one of those fish pedicures and ended up getting an infection and had to get all her toes on her right foot amputated. I remember when these pedicures became so popular at one point, and basically it involves putting your feet into a tank filled with a specific type of fish. These fish then begin to eat the dead skin on your feet and it leaves your skin feeling smooth and clean. And I don't know about you guys, but this stuff really freaks me out. When Victoria got back home from her vacation, she began feeling sick, and after multiple tests, she was diagnosed with a serious bone infection. It turns out that the water used in Victoria's pedicure was contaminated with the bacteria that entered her body through a wound on her foot from a previous toe surgery. Victoria's big toe was first amputated to contain the disease. However, it didn't get rid of the infection fully, so she had to remove all her toes. This is how Victoria's foot looked like after. So moral of the story is don't participate in these fish spas because you really never know.
Hey man, I know we all saw that like we were freaking younger. The first time I saw something like that was on an episode of freaking Victorious or something like that, man. My sister's watching. I remember that episode that came out when the fish used to make their skin smooth or something like that, and they all got sick at the end. Man, people when they do these freaking beauty procedures and stuff like that, they risking their lives, man. It ain't worth it at the end of the day. All the toes gone. 'Cause of some fish.
The internet gives me an excuse to talk about it, I'm gonna talk about it. Otters are water-loving war criminals with plush toy privilege, let me explain. I'm usually talking about sea otters, but nah, today river rats get the smoke. Stretch weasels are a menace for 3 crucial reasons. Number 1, they're mustelids, and if you remember, that puts them in the same family or union as habitual menaces like wolverines, honey badgers, and actual badgers. Number 2, otters are the only mustelids that are social. And 3, actually, it was only 2, but it's important. Picture a poolside pack of honey badgers with gang mentality, and now you got river otters. Make them 6 feet tall, and you got the worst otters of all. Giant river otters are straight out of Satan's sketchbook, and it's not just an assault on the senses. As war weasels in the area code of jaguars and alligator cousin the caiman, I can honestly say I've seen them humble both. If you look past the Care Bear coated face and look at what's inside, you'll see a pack hunting predator. This is an Asian small-clawed otter. One day, a monkey like this decided he wanted to see them up close and went into their exhibit. That decision got him jumped, waterboarded, and publicly executed all in one. In front of his family, no less. But yeah, an otter playing tag with a raccoon in a sewer but being the only one, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest. They're honestly built like a sick joke.
Alright, so this is Frozen if it was a live action dark fantasy. We got Anna right here. There's Elsa. Our girl Elsa, what's up? What's his name? His name is like Kristoff or something like that, right? There's the Frozen Castle.
Frozen live action.
Which looks beautiful, by the way. Our boy Olaf. Yo, this is legit. Like, this looks live action. That's the trolls, right? The trolls that gave the powers. I forgot what that town is called. The father. I think that's the father. Oh, no, that's... Who is that? What's his name again?
Prince or something?
Or something like that?
Okay.
There's Anna.
I think they announced they were doing a live action.
This is the stuff of nightmares. Recently, a group of people decided to go on the skyscraper at Six Flags in Mexico. But as they got to the top and started spinning, a massive storm suddenly intensified. And to add to their panic, they saw everyone on the ground being evacuated by staff because of it. The ride, which normally spins at 64 miles per hour, stopped dead, leaving them stranded 242 feet in the air. For 10 long minutes, they were battered by the storm, wondering, this is really how it ends, before they were finally brought down to safety. Moral of the story, don't go on any rides in any storms.
How many animals humans eat
True.
every year? Sea urchins, camels. I didn't even know camels were edible. Horses.
Cat.
We ride though. Cats. Who's eating kids? Tilapia. I eat that all the time. Snails. I love to see.
Dog.
Dogs.
What the fuck?
How is dogs even up there? Guinea pigs. Shark. I can see. You know what I mean? Get them out. Cows. Oh my God, 300 million cows.
Lambs. What the fuck?
500 million lambs. Lobster. Oh my God, that's probably me. I probably eat all that lobster. Turkey, salmon. I get it. Tuna. 900 million.
Rabbits. What
I've
the?
never even seen people like rabbit like that. Octopus. 2 billion. 2 billion.
Billion?
2 billion. Yo, wow. This is a year.
What's the
Shrimp,
what's the
I
top?
understand. I love shrimp.
Sardines.
I eat sardines too.
Chicken.
75 billion.
Man, that when it just kept progressively getting bigger and bigger and bigger, bro. People eating dogs and cat. What the hell? Why are they even on the list? That's the first question I'm trying to ask. Hey man, that list when it got bigger, bigger, bigger. That was insane. But it makes sense that chicken was the freaking the top one. That tracks. But I don't get about the cats and dogs, no.
Did you know these facts? This woman attempted to jump off the Empire State Building. She jumped from the 86th floor and the wind blew her back onto the 85th floor. The last McDonald's in Iceland may have closed in 2009, but the last burger and fries still live on today. This hero grounded 4,000 planes on 9/11. It was his first day on the job. You can receive a free Canadian flag from the government by filling out a form. But the current waiting list is over 100 years long. Heteropaternal superfecundation is when a woman gives birth to twins from 2 different biological fathers. Paris has over 44,000 restaurants for only about 2 million local residents, which makes it to be little less than 50 people per restaurant. A 1-year-old dog is pretty much equivalent to a 15-year-old person. Louis Vuitton sells fitness gear like volleyballs and jump ropes, weights, ping pong sets.
8,000?
Absolutely shocking.
Nah.
A Wells Fargo employee died at her desk, and it took 4 days for anyone to notice. Authorities say that 60-year-old Denise Prudhomme entered her Wells Fargo office building in Arizona at 7 a.m. Friday, August 16th. One of the employees at the business, who asked to remain anonymous in fear of their jobs, spoke to 12 News and said that multiple people working on those days complained of a foul odor, but just assumed that it was due to plumbing problems. She added that the reason they even discovered her when they did was that her boss emailed her, and when she didn't reply, one of her colleagues was told to go check her cubicle where she normally sits. And that's when they made that horrifying discovery. The anonymous employee said that the building has 24-hour security and that she should have been found sooner.
These are scary.
So why wasn't she?
Proven to be real. Part 1.
Up first is the Candy Lady. In the early 1900s, children in a unnamed small town in Texas started to go missing out of nowhere. And every single one of the residents blamed it on the Candy Lady. The story says she would go around leaving candy on kids' windows, and she would eventually lure the children out with notes attached to the candy saying they would get more candy. The story started getting extremely popular when a farmer found rotten teeth in his farm and also a young boy's dead body with his pockets stuffed with candy. So if you live in Texas, you better watch out for the Candy Lady.
Don't take candy from strangers. Learned that at a very young age.
Part 1. Diego. The unstoppable sex tortoise, who is 100 years old, lives on the Galapagos archipelago and has fathered over 800 tortoises.
Damn.
When a male
Putting
anglerfish
in work.
meets a female, he fuses with her body, donating his brain, heart, and eyes, pretty much becoming a pair of testicles dangling from her body.
Hey, darling. Nice testes. In 1912, biologists had to cover up the first published studies of penguins after observing them being the literal worst. Male on male penguin action. Male on dead penguin action. Male on unwilling female penguin action. Oh, and action in exchange for pebbles. If Finding Nemo was scientifically accurate, Marlin would have just changed into a female clownfish and mated with Nemo after his mother's death. Oh, and, fish don't talk, but more importantly, the whole changing into a...
He just destroyed Nemo for me, man. Why? I never knew clownfish could do that.
The rarest ways to die in the world. Dying by falling out of bed, 1 in 2 million. Dying in a plane crash, 1 in 11 million. Dying from a snake bite, 1 in 50 million. Dying on a roller coaster, 1 in 750 million. Dying in a shark attack, 1 in 913 million. The dirtiest things in the world, by number of bacteria. Toilet bowls, 51.2 million. Bed sheets, 72.3 million. Toothbrushes, 100 million. Your mouth, 6 billion. Kitchen sponges, 54 billion. Surprising facts about religion. Christianity is the most popular religion worldwide. Hinduism is supposedly the oldest religion worldwide. China is the most atheist country in the world. Around 1.2 billion people do not follow any religion. Somalia is ranked as the most religious country. Most stolen things in the world. Most stolen food, cheese.
Really?
Most stolen dog breed in the UK, Staffordshire Bull Terrier. Most stolen car, Ford pickup. Most stolen item, designer clothes. The most patriotic countries in the world. Percentage by people willing to fight for their country. Bangladesh, 86%. Vietnam, 89%. Pakistan, 89%. Fiji, 94%. Morocco, 94%.
Urban legends.
Wow, I think US are gonna be on
Old
there.
Maggie's Bridge, located in Seaford, Delaware. Here's the story. A pregnant woman named Maggie got into a car accident on this bridge. She was unfortunately decapitated and both her and the baby died. It is said that her spirit still wanders the bridge looking for her child. Some claim that you can actually conjure her spirit by parking on the bridge at night, getting out of your car, and yelling, "Maggie, I have your baby." Now, is this story true? Nobody knows for sure. But there is a weird gravestone in a nearby cemetery for a woman named Maggie who died very young. Which state is next?
Crazy
Any
things
connection?
happening in the world right now. The heat in Washington, D.C. this summer melted off the head of a wax replica of Abraham Lincoln. State of Vermont paid this man $175,000 after arresting him for flipping off the state trooper. Ron DeSantis signed a bill making it legal to end the lives of crack bears in self-defense. DeSantis also signed a bill in Florida that makes it illegal to intentionally release balloons. NASA ran an experiment that even if we had 14 years in advance to stop an asteroid, we wouldn't be able to do it. A man wrongly identified his wife in an autopsy, had her cremated, and then found out that she was alive. A naked bike ride was organized in San Antonio and no one showed up. Justin Timberlake and Tiger Woods are opening a sports bar together. A French cyclist was fined after stopping to kiss his wife. A woman is suing the company that she's worked for 20 years for having no work. It was recently found that Americans are taking less vacation than every other country.
We grinding out here, bro. Guess everybody got time for vacation anymore, man. They're trying to get their coins up.
Have you ever seen this movie, Veronica? It was pretty scary, but did you know that this is based on a true story? And I'm going to warn you now, this is going to be 2 parts, so if you don't like part 2s, just keep scrolling. The alleged true story is based on Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro. In 1991, Estefania was a very well-rounded girl. She was loved by her family, and she was just all around good. She was living with her family in the outskirts of Madrid and going to school and just living a very normal life. One of Estefania's close friends had a boyfriend that tragically passed away in a motorcycle accident, and her friend wanted to contact his spirit. In an attempt to do so, they got their hands on a Ouija board and brought it to school. During a school day, they found a secluded spot where they could try to use the Ouija board in order to access the spirit realm. There was a nun that caught them doing this. The nun apparently broke the Ouija board in half, and her friends claimed to have seen a white smoke come from the Ouija board that entered into Estefania's nose and mouth. It was just shortly after this that Estefania's attitude changed completely. Estefania had never had any mental health issues to speak of. Her family hadn't noticed anyway, but soon she started acting out of sorts. She was aggressive with her family. She would even bark at her younger siblings. Estefania also started suffering from seizures and hallucinations. She told her family that she would see dark figures walking through the house all night that would torment her. She also claimed that these spirits or these figures were evil. Estefania struggled with these things for over 6 months. Her parents did try to take her to several hospitals and specialists, but they were unable to find anything wrong with Estefania. The doctors could absolutely tell that there was something visibly wrong, like there was something going on, but they couldn't quite pinpoint what it was. Sadly, 6 months after the Ouija board incident, Estefania passed away at a hospital. Estefania's parents were absolutely devastated by her passing. They loved their daughter very much. So they decided to lock up her room and keep everything as is. Her mother would go in on occasion and clean up, but they just left her room the way she had left it.
Okay.
But not long after Estefania's passing, they started noticing very strange things happening in the house. Part 2 will be done as soon as I'm done filming it, but it should be linked down in the comments. So go to part 2.
This woman fell in love with her patient and then was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Derek Johnson was born a nonverbal man with cerebral palsy, and he required 24/7 care from his mother. In 2009, his brother John was attending Rutgers University and enrolled in a disabilities class and met his professor, Anna Stubblefield. Anna was specialized in facilitated communication, which is a technique that's supposed to help nonverbal people like Derek communicate because, again, Derek could not speak. And basically, facilitated communication is when someone holds the hand of someone who's disabled so that they can type and communicate what they're feeling and their thoughts. John told his professor Anna about his brother's disability, and she offered to help Derek and teach him facilitated communication. Anna began having one-on-one sessions with Derek, and she began teaching him how to use this keyboard to communicate. And she said that she was very impressed because he was learning very, very quickly. She said that they were having full-on conversations on this keyboard, and eventually he began opening up to her, and she basically fell in love with him. Mind you, Anna was married and had 2 kids, but that didn't stop her, and she told Derek that she loved him, and she said that he told her that he felt the same way. She said that they began having a sexual relationship, and usually Derek's mother was there during their sessions, but she would find time when they could be alone so that they can do their thing. They kept the relationship a secret for a long time, but eventually they told Derek's mother and his brother John, and they were not happy at all. They felt like Derek could not consent to this because of how severely disabled he was. Remember, Derek could not speak at all, and he needed a lot of help to walk and move around. Anna was charged, and during the trial, the conversation was about whether facilitated communication was even legitimate. Experts testified and said that studies have shown that this form of communication is mainly influenced by the facilitator, aka Anna, and not the disabled person. This insinuated that Derek could not consent, and Anna essayed him. She was charged with 2 counts of aggravated essay and was sentenced to 12 years in prison, but only served 2 years. There's a documentary on Netflix called Tell Them You Love Me, and they talk about both sides of the story, and I highly, highly recommend it.
These are the most dangerous jobs on Earth, counting down to number 1. 1 in 111 agricultural workers pass away while working. 1 in 110 grounds maintenance workers pass away on the job, which is like, I don't understand the difference that much, but both jobs work outside, die about the same amount. 1 in 84 truck drivers pass away while on the job. 1 in 83 general construction workers pass away on the job. 1 in 54 recycling collectors pass away on the job. How? 1 in 43 roofers specifically pass away on the job. 1 in 26 fishermen and professional hunters pass away on the job. 1 in 23 logging workers pass away on the job. And finally, number 1, 1 in 11 US presidents pass away on the job. Yeah, I mean, the chances would be high with that. That would make sense. There's so few of them. These numbers I have here are just averages, and they'll vary by where in the world you live. But I mean, is there anything missing from this list that you thought would be there? My name is Adorian. That's what I learned today. Follow me to learn something new tomorrow.
Are they manipulating the weather to make us go spend more money?
Not to be a conspiracy theorist or nothing, but did y'all notice how the government was talking about that nobody was spending enough money since Christmas and the economy was down? And then next thing you know, we was having a mystery winter storm and everybody had to hurry up and go to the store and buy a bunch of groceries real fast and spend up all the money that they didn't really have to stimulate the economy. Right after the stock market had crashed, and next thing you know, inconveniently the storm was supposed to be further south, and so they had everybody in the southern parts of Tennessee and everyone buying up everything, and then the storm suddenly moved further north, and so they had everybody north buying stuff, and it's just a coincidence that they was complaining about how nobody was spending money, and then that stock market had crashed and everything, and then next thing you know, we was having a winter storm, and then everybody had to buy up everything, and all the groceries is sold out, and everybody spent all their money up on a bunch of stuff to prepare for a storm coming. Isn't that funny?
Make it make sense.
I mean, I don't believe in conspiracy theories or anything. I just thought that was just so funny.
What is this? What do you call this? What do you call this where you're from? Is this not sherbet? Is this not sherbet? When did it turn sherbet? Now, I thought that, hey, maybe it's just like a brand thing. Maybe I'm tripping. But I look, and every brand is sherbet, not sherbet. I grew up with sherbet, or I think I grew up with sherbet. When did this change? When did sherbet become sherbet? When did that change? I know in my timeline that it was sherbet. I know that this right here was sherbet. When did it become sherbet? I don't know when this became sherbet. I don't remember it becoming sherbet.
Me either.
My ice cream that was multicolored, that had every rainbow color in it, it was always sherbet. When did it become sherbet? Am I tripping? Am I tripping right now? Let me know.
Hold on. I always remember it being sherbet, bro. Sherbet. I don't know what the heck's going on, man. Was that another Mandela effect, bro? Timeline change? Tell me down below, seekers. Sherbet or sherbet?
1 second. Are we aware that a few days ago, the Bank of England warned to prepare for economic chaos sparked by the existence of alien life? And this is like major mainstream news have posted about this. Warning issued that alien revelations could spark financial crisis. And this one from The Independent. Bank of England must plan for a financial crisis triggered by aliens, says former policy expert. So my question is this. Is there going to be a financial crisis that's triggered by aliens? Or is there going to be a financial crisis that's blamed on the kind of unconfirmable reports of aliens? You know what I'm saying? Like you could kind of flip a switch and then be like, oh, it was the aliens. Or no. What it would actually be is, breaking shocking news, aliens, and then boom, bang, bang, all of a sudden the economy would just tank, everything would go freaking upside down. Is that what they're saying is coming around the corner? Because I already heard people saying in their 2026 bingo card, it's going to be, disclosure. Like we're talking, yes, there's aliens, fully confirmed, here's what we know about them. Now my question is, because there are some people who don't quite believe in space and don't really believe that we're on a spinning ball, and so for those people, they would think two things. Either these quote-unquote aliens were just entities or, creatures from other lands beyond the ice wall, and then, or they would be fully, basically, a hologram, which we know about that project. It rhymes with Schmroject Schmloomleem. So I wonder, all I know is when I read this, I don't go, oh no, aliens are going to crash the economy. I go, what's the angle here? That's what I think, man. What is this priming us for? This sounds like it's priming us for disclosure. Or you could kind of perhaps sheepishly read this and go, dang, like, thankfully we're being warned, like, when these aliens come, we better make sure we got our stuff sorted out. You know what I'm saying? But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Aliens, ball, flat, schmloomleem, are we talking legit or not? Let me know in the comments and follow for more.
I just watched the movie Belgomia, and when I say they put stuff in our face, it's in our face. Starting off with this image right here. I once had an out-of-body experience, and I told people, Earth did not look how I thought it looked. It looked very similar to this. I've even made a depiction to tell you what Earth looked like. This is how I saw Earth. Yeah, this. Not to mention there was a being that met me there. That's not even the point of this video. There were other things that stood out, like the bees and how they've been dying off. This is the second movie talking about aliens and bees. There's clearly a message about bees, but that's not even it. As I was watching, one of the things they did was cut off Emma Stone's hair. Got me to thinking, There used to be a law against black people's hair. The taping law, where we as black women had to cover our hair. Make you think, doesn't it? But our hair naturally grows upward, which makes this scene even more interesting.
Where's my hair? Your hair's been destroyed. To prevent you from contacting your ship. What ship? Your mothership.
And it's not just her hair. If you notice, they have lightened her skin, because it also is a transmitter to whatever mothership he's talking about, according to him. Which also got me to thinking, there's so many skin whitening creams promoted in the black community. And it's been said that melanin actually communicates, and is worth more than gold. So again, are they trying to tell us something? Also in the movie, they can only come during different moon cycles, showing you that us spiritual folks ain't crazy. The moon is important. And it goes back to that same story that I've seen in another movie about the Anunnaki creating humans from monkeys. And as you can see, 85% it says has it. Only in this movie, they're adrenaline aliens instead of Anunnaki. But the same plot twist, and basically saying they live among us. She talks to the council in some language that we have no idea what she's even saying, then decides to end it all. This is actually Earth compared to her. Once she hits through the atmosphere, it's the end for everyone on Earth. So what if... No, y'all not ready for that. This is only for entertainment purposes, but make sure to like and comment and let me know what you think.
So President Trump is planning on turning the firmament into a firmament. And I know you're like, what am I talking about? Well, if you haven't heard, President Trump is planning on building a golden dome above the United States. You heard what I just said, right? A golden dome over the United States. Matter of fact, look at this shit. So supposedly, this golden dome is supposed to protect us from bombs and missiles. And due to the fact that we've been rubbing a lot of different countries the wrong way, we might just need this. But if you think about it, they're about to spend $175 billion to make this. And this is supposed to protect us from bombs and missiles. What if, and I'm just saying, what if it wasn't just to protect us from bombs and missiles? What if, and hear me out, this isn't just for what they're telling us it's for. Now, if you remember, a couple of videos ago, I told you that someone in the Pentagon said that the Anunnakis are coming back real soon. And if you jump down the rabbit hole on this, they're saying that this thing will be equipped with weapons, lasers, to defend us from things coming from outer space. Yeah. What I will say is this, somebody knows more than what they're saying. But in order for us to be safe, we might need that golden dome.
The ice wall was never real. It was all an illusion. We've all been fooled. What? There was no barrier around our continents that prevented us from going anywhere else. There's nothing there. It's completely warm, and we can go sail anywhere we want. This is the Urbano Monte map from 1587, and they drew exactly what they saw back then. This is not just some made-up map. And what we see on the outside of all our continents, what we might think is Antarctica, is actually green. So why was it so warm back then? Well, the truth is, there never was an ice wall, and this is how things have always been. And if you didn't know, there was something called a Little Ice Age from the 1300s to the 1800s. So likely a lot of these continents have actually sank, and there are still portions of these continents that are still there, probably most of it. So we can literally just go sail there and find out what's over there. There's nothing that's stopping us. The government can't have everyone they can't have like 1,000 or 10,000 soldiers stationed throughout every spot. So they're just trying to fool us and make us think there's nothing left. When in reality, we can just go sail there and literally no one's can stop us. This is the only real part of Antarctica. The rest of it is completely made up. This is where they have the geographic North Pole. This is where they have little islands surrounding it, where you can go travel there on like a $30,000 cruise. You're not going to an actual huge icy continent that's not even real. You're just going to some small little island which has the blood falls, which I know you've seen before. Do I have to explain this again? This is obviously a dead carcass of like a giant leviathan or a dragon, maybe even a dinosaur that's thawing out. This is blood coming from it, not just like water mixed with iron. Besides, iron is in blood. It's one of the main ingredients to make it that color. So this is the only place you're going on vacation, just the carcass of a dead leviathan. And this section is the Ross Ice Shelf, which is just part of one of the other continents, which is warm. And it's only cold on this part because it's just a floating mass of ice that is surrounding the area. It's just floating through. So guys, it turns out we don't even have to sail past like in between two ice walls and find the perfect opening. We can just go around the little ice cubes, the icebergs that are floating around, and go to these new continents and then find out what's over there. Most likely it's probably just the same thing as our lands, so we'd have to go even past those ones. Like, it's probably just like Torrid and Terenza, with people accidentally flying to our continents by mistake and not knowing what's going on, then they just get evacuated out of there.
Did y'all see this right here? We're about to take a pretty quick trip down the rabbit hole. First though, obviously, we can see something very abnormal happening with our eyes right here. I wonder what would slot the eye the entire length of the eyeball. But watch how it goes from a round pupil to a slotted. What in the world? And we're also about to take a look into some very weird faces and also some very strange things happening what's going on with this dude? That could just be contrast added from the camera or exposure, or the lack thereof. But that, camera lighting, exposure, anything cannot change the shape of your pupil. So lie to yourself if you want to. We've seen this stuff for years, guys. So you mean to tell me that Macron got a very brilliant eye injury? To wearing sunglasses, to this up here. Of course, it's just a wrinkle. Pompeo, of course, just a wrinkle. Pico's M? No, I doubt it. And then right here, we have Woah Vicky recounting the time to get into a party she had to have her blood pricked and her phone taken away. Have to block out certain parts of the video so it'll be allowed. But of course, that's unrelated to the beginning of this video, right? If you did see my last episode on YT, I talked about how the fallen angels took on a different form when they fell. Proven by ancient religions with sky stones worshipping reptile deities. Again, unrelated.
Basically, what we had here is a technology that was built which would give those people who operated that technology, of course, a huge advantage because they could see and view timelines within a stream, within a field. You know, the awareness of this technology came to us through certain whistleblowers, and one of them was a guy by the name of Dan Burish, who went into some detail about how that technology was acquired. It starts at the end of the Second World War. It was the first time that the United States ever came into contact with certain ETs, you could say, who began appearing over the skies of the United States. And their appearance, again, was accompanied by crashes and captures of both the craft and the pilots piloting that craft. And it leads directly to the formation of the breakaway civilization, that which was created by one ultra secret society that was called Majestic 12. They who have ultimately come into possession of the Looking Glass material and time travel and other technologies ever since. So between 1947 and the early 50s, there were a series of crashes that took place, not just one, and they started the whole back engineering process. And they also had captured extraterrestrial beings, and the Looking Glass has ended up in S4 Area 51.
Makes sense, man. So does that mean we're living in the wrong timeline, bro? Imagine one day waking up finding out, bro, you're in the wrong timeline, man. Your whole life could have been different, bro. You're living a completely different life in that separate timeline, man. It's crazy. But he said the fact that they caught those UFOs back in 1950 and then reverse engineered it. It's 2026. So they would have figured everything out by now, man. I'll have to go down that rabbit hole, bro. We in two timelines, man?
New Epstein files have been released.
More than 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, and 180,000 images. And what the Justice Department says is the last batch of Jeffrey Epstein files.
I think I was quite stupid to use the tape.
An astronaut poops in space. Their waste could be taken and mixed with special microbes. And these would eat the solids, releasing gas as they go. The gas could then be used to feed bacteria, which would multiply quickly. And since the whole thing would be heated to almost 160 degrees, it would kill any germs left from the poop. Next, the bacteria could be collected and turned into a paste, which astronauts would eat. This would save room on the spacecraft by turning their own poop into food.
Astronauts eating poop now, bro? I don't believe it, man. That has to be like a worst case scenario. Even then, bro, a lot of people will refuse to do that, man. Just don't send me up there, bro.
To all the countries that are out there that are not paying attention to the United States, it's time you start paying attention to the United States. And if many of these countries have not learned by what happened to Maduro in Venezuela, well, the United States allegedly just went into Scotland and took 2 people. You heard what I said, took 2 people in Scotland. Take a look at this.
2 people have been abducted from Scotland in the middle of the night by the US military, despite our highest court ordering that they be kept here under our jurisdiction.
So if you recall, there was a Russian oil tanker that was seized earlier in the month. And if you recall, the ship was captured between Iceland and Scotland. And on that ship, the ship's captain and the ship's first officer were supposed to be kept in the UK under Scottish jurisdiction. And that didn't go according to plan because the following day, they were both gone. And the United States sent an email stating that they had the 2 of them. And once again, the US went on that ship without anyone even noticing they were there and captured both of them, sending a very, very strong message to the rest of the world. So once again, does this signal to the rest of the world? You do not want any issues with the United States of America. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
What they're about to do with Khaby Lame is pretty scary. So you may have heard that this week he sold his business to a company based in Hong Kong for just under $1 billion. And that sale includes Khaby's brand, commercial activities, and even intellectual property. But the part that not enough people are speaking about is that this deal also includes his Face ID, his Voice ID, and even behavioral models. This is so that the company, which now essentially owns him, can create an AI digital twin for content. In fact, they even include the sentence multilingual cross-time zone live stream e-commerce content. So bro's gone from speaking 0 words to speaking every language 24/7 non-stop. And I mean, this is unprecedented. Khaby is now the first major creator to sell their likeness for mass AI replication. But here's the scary part. The company claims that through purchasing Khaby's likeness, they will be able to generate more than $4 billion in annual sales. For context, Beast Industries, Jimmy's company, was forecasted to earn $899 million in revenue for 2025. And bro's by far the largest creator in the world. So how the hell this company expects to make 4 times that has got me worried. How much AI Khaby Lame are we about to be flooded with in 2026? The question is, should more creators be cashing in and making deals like this? Or has Khaby made a big mistake?
It's like a bad deal, bro. Not a bad deal, but it's just like, I guess the morals, man. Like, how much is it worth to you, man? Just, I guess, to sell yourself, your digital self, man, for under $1 billion, bro. And I heard, because I just saw that when that deal went through, it was like, just, I guess, trending on Twitter, people was talking about how they said they didn't understand it. They think that, like, something fishy was going on with the company. I'm gonna have to go down that weird rabbit hole, bro. Well, would you guys sell yourself for $1 billion, man? I guess it's just a question of morals then, bro.
You think it's okay to try and get a closer picture of you and a snow leopard in the wild? You don't love your life. So in China, a skier saw a snow leopard, and she came up with a wild idea to walk over to the snow leopard to try and get a closer picture. She walked up on that leopard, and that leopard tore her ass up. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit.
太咬了。
Behind you, a snow leopard is faster than you. A snow leopard is stronger than you. A snow leopard hunts for its prey. This ain't a domestic animal. What would make you say, oh, you know what? This snow leopard is not going to do nothing to me. I'm going to get a closer pick. That snow leopard bit her ass up, dragged her down, and sat on top of her face. We are 29 days into January 2026. And the shit y'all doing, you will not make it to February 2026. It's enough bullshit going on. We just started this shit. Don't leave for something stupid. I'm out.
Scientists just made 50-year-old human cells biologically 20 again. And aging might have just become optional. This isn't science fiction. It's built on Nobel Prize-winning research from 2012 called Yamanaka factors, which are proteins that can turn any adult cell back into a stem cell. The problem was they were slow, unreliable, and sometimes caused cancer. So the technology sat there for over a decade, scientifically proven, but practically useless. Then OpenAI built a protein engineering AI and used it to redesign the Yamanaka factors from scratch. The result was 50 times more effective than the original Nobel Prize-winning version. In lab tests, 30% of 50-year-old cells were repaired and reverted to a younger state in just 7 days. Not slowed down, reversed. If this holds up in human trials, we're talking about injectable therapies that could repair aging hearts, regenerate failing brains, and restore muscle and skin to how they functioned decades earlier. The tech that won a Nobel Prize in 2012 wasn't the breakthrough, it was the blueprint. AI just figured out how to actually use it. Do you think humans should reverse aging, or are we playing with something we don't fully understand? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed stories like this, follow my page for more.
So not only do you have CERN creating time ripples with the hydrogen collider that they just put on turbo speed. Fun. Also creating black holes, opening up portals to other dimensions, letting in entities, aka demons. You also have Elon Musk in AI taking all of our drinkable water. Y'all stop using AI. Y'all stop using AI. It's not cute. The pictures, the videos, whatever it is that you're creating your grocery list, having y'all conversations, stop. It's enough we gotta deal with. Conscious woman.
75 passengers lost their lives after this pilot let his children in the cockpit. On March 23rd, 1994, an Aeroflot aircraft was flying from Russia to Hong Kong when the airplane tragically crashed. Only a few hours into the flight, one of the pilots allowed his 2 children who were also on the flight to enter the cockpit so that they could see how everything operated. The pilot's 16-year-old son Elder and his 12-year-old daughter Yana had the opportunity to sit in the pilot's seat and play around with the aircraft's controls. Of course, autopilot was on, so this was not supposed to be dangerous. Well, at least that's what he thought. The pilot told his son Elder that he can turn the plane to one side so he can experience what it was to fly a plane. Unfortunately, this disabled autopilot. The pilots were unaware that the plane began turning, but once they noticed, the plane had steepened to almost 90 degrees. The plane started to quickly descend while the pilots tried to figure out what was wrong. And there's actually an audio recording of how everything played out, and you can hear the fear in these pilots' voices. The plane ended up crashing on a mountain in Russia, killing all 75 passengers on board. After investigating, they said that the cause of the crash were the children who were playing with the controls in the aircraft. And it was said that if the pilots had left the controls alone rather than trying to fix them manually, the plane would have corrected itself.
Pranks that definitely went too far. Firstly, this kid was walking into an elevator when the floor opened up. He genuinely thought he was falling to his death until he fell onto a slide that covered him in foam and feathers, which destroyed all of his belongings, including his laptop. Next, these people were applying for a job at LG Electronics when the window behind the interviewer showed a meteor crashing down, seemingly destroying the entire city. They were screaming and crying until the company had to run in and tell them it was just a screen. Finally, this prank is the worst one of all. These customers were paying for store items when a Grim Reaper appeared on the screen. When they turned around and saw a man with a scythe winking, they each began to tear up in regret, believing that these were their final moments.
See, cause man, yeah, see how some people, man, they be taking jokes too far. That's definitely the case, man. Like, if you see a damn Reaper behind you, see, cause how would you guys react? And then turn around and see an old man there. You don't play with that type of energy.
This woman murdered a teenager because it was on her bucket list. It was 2016 and Gemma Lilly was 26 years old. She was obsessed with serial killers and she'd emigrated to Australia 6 years earlier back in 2010. She was originally from Lincolnshire and had a troubled upbringing. Her fascination with crime and horror was a dark one, and disturbingly, she even put murdering someone on her bucket list. Her housemate was 44-year-old Trudy Lennon. She was actually introduced by a mutual friend to Trudy. Trudy had been struggling financially and actually had 2 children to feed, so the pair decided to live together in order to share bills. At this point, the women started sharing disturbing fantasies about killing someone. Some of these were even documented in the online chats that the pair had. They used the code names SOS and Corvina. Within the space of just 3 weeks living together, the pair hatched a sickening plan. Terrifyingly, in the days leading up to the plan, the pair bought a circular saw, bleach, cement, a drop sheet, a large plastic barrel, and some acetone. Trudy identified their victim. Aaron Page was friends with one of Trudy's sons, and she decided they would lure him to the flat. They used the excuse of needing Aaron to come and install some games onto their computers. As he obliged, Gemma came up behind him and strangled him with a wire. She then stabbed him 3 times. They buried him in a shallow grave and attempted to cover it with concrete. Aaron was reported missing on the 14th of June after failing to return home. It was on the 20th of June that police were able to track Aaron's last call to Gemma's phone, which led them to investigate her. They searched the property and found Aaron's body along with a knife and the saw. Police even found CCTV evidence from Gemma's own CCTV camera. In 2018, both women were sentenced to life with a minimum term of 28 years.
We have how this boxer went from this to this. Back in 2015, 23-year-old Pritchard Collin and Terrell Williams competed at the Eagle Bank Arena in Virginia. At this point, Pritchard had only been pro for 2 years until this fight, which would be the last time he entered the ring, leaving him in a vegetative state. From the very beginning of the fight, Pritchard complained to the referee that Terrell kept hitting him with rabbit punches. Since we don't know what that is, they're punches to the back of the head or neck that are extremely dangerous and can cause brain or spinal cord injury. These punches are illegal, and usually the fighter would be disqualified if it happened in a fight. Pritchard also mentioned to the ringside physician that he felt dizzy, but he could still go on, so the match continued. But on this night, after multiple rounds and blows to the head, when Pritchard went into his dressing room, he began throwing up. He eventually passed out and was rushed to the hospital, where he underwent surgery for internal bleeding in his brain, and then he went into a coma for 221 days. When Pritchard woke up, he was in a vegetative state, and his mother and father have been taking care of him ever since. The blame has not only been put on Terrell for throwing illegal punches, but the referee and the physician who sat ringside were also negligent for failing to take any required steps to either stop the fight or get Pritchard some help. Pritchard's family filed a $50 million lawsuit against the physician, but it's never been settled, and apparently he's not legally responsible for any of this. Pritchard's parents were told by doctors that he would never get better because of the damage that was done. But if you see some progress videos that have been posted online, it's clear that Pritchard has gotten better, and I hope that one day he can be close to what makes me sick to my stomach. This is 14-year-old Scotty Morris out of Eaton, Indiana. On the night of March 16th, Scotty got into an argument with his parents after they forced him to put on this embarrassing t-shirt, and he ended up leaving the house and running away. He left the house wearing only this t-shirt, some shorts, and tennis shoes, and so a lot of people are very worried that he is being exposed to these freezing temperatures. They have not been able to find a trace of him in 6 days. Naturally, Scotty's parents have been under fire because of this bizarre, humiliating form of punishment, and you just see the pain in his eyes. It makes you wonder what's really going on in that house, why they would take a picture of him in this, like they were going to use it later as ammunition. I don't know, I don't get it. I think it's horrible. But here's what Felicia had to say to her son.
This is Felicia Morris. She is Scotty Morris's mother. We've been working with Felicia for the last 3 days. She's been very cooperative with our investigation. We had decided that she wanted to talk to Scotty personally, so that's why we're here.
Do I hold on?
No, you're okay. Go ahead.
Scott, I love you. And I want you to come home. And I know that you're mad and confused, and I'm afraid that you're scared of all of this. Everyone is out looking for you, and we're not trying to scare you. You're not in trouble, okay? If you're in a house and they come to you and you don't want to go out because it's the cops, reach out. Me and Dad will come get you, okay? I love you and I just want you to come home. I need to know that you're safe. Please just call 911. Tell anyone. I need you home. I just need you home, okay? And I love you so much, okay?
Did you know that Gino D'Acampo actually served time in prison? Many people in the UK absolutely love Gino, who is well known for appearing on daytime television. However, many people don't know that he does have a criminal past. This true crime case honestly reads like a bizarre fan fiction. In 1998, way before he ever appeared on ITV's This Morning, Gino was 21 years old. He was an unknown waiter living in North London. He broke into the home of well-known 80s singer Paul Young. He was known for having hits such as Wherever I Lay My Hat. Gino stole Paul's guitar collection, which was reportedly worth around £4,000. He also stole his platinum disc. Police investigating the crime found that Gino had actually unknowingly left his DNA at the crime scene. He dropped a cigarette butt with his DNA on it. They were able to match this DNA to Gino, and he was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Gino actually reached out to Paul personally to apologise to him just prior to entering the I'm a Celebrity jungle back in 2009. Gino stated that he was involved with the wrong people back then and was on the wrong path.
This is
Never know anybody's path, seekers. Past.
Have been missing from Ferrum, Virginia since September 5th. But despite Virginia police saying that Lauren and her 3 children have been missing for over 2 weeks, her husband remains unconcerned and maintains that this isn't the case. 30-year-old Lauren and her 3 kids, 7-year-old Benjamin, 5-year-old Hannah, and 2-year-old Elijah, were last seen in their home in Ferrum, Virginia on September 5th. That day, Lauren missed a scheduled court appearance in Franklin County Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. A missing persons investigation was initiated after Lauren did not appear for her rescheduled court appearance on September 13th. It's not clear why exactly Lauren was due in court, but police have said that juvenile records are confidential. Lauren's family has not heard from her since September 5th. A news release said, quote, "There has been no reported contact with Lauren since September 5th or 6th when she stated that she was in New York visiting family. This was the last time Lauren's mother spoke to her, and she said that Lauren's bank account hasn't shown any recent activity, and her cell phone last pinged on September 7th in Lexington, Virginia." Investigators later confirmed that Lauren and the kids had been in Litchfield, Illinois, but they haven't been able to directly talk to them, so they are still considered missing. Despite concerns from authorities and Lauren's family, her husband and the children's father, Jordan Cook, is not concerned, saying his wife and his children are not missing. Jordan was in attendance at the family's recent rescheduled court appearance on September 20th, but Lauren was not there. But Jordan Cook said, "I have no reason to be concerned about their safety or well-being. I've heard from my wife, and I'm sure she and my children are doing well. We ask that our family's privacy be respected at this time." But Sergeant Megan Houston said that until Lauren and the kids appear in person to a law enforcement officer, they are still regarded as missing. She said Lauren and the 3 children will remain in local and national databases as missing until a law enforcement agency is able to lay eyes on them to ensure that they are okay and not under any duress. She said this is the typical protocol for when someone is entered in as missing. A reported phone call, phone ping, photo, video, audio, etc. is not sufficient to clear the missing persons alert out of the system. According to Lauren's mother, Lauren is also 5 months pregnant. Lauren and her children may be traveling in a 2013 blue Chrysler van with Virginia license plates. Anyone with any information about Lauren or her children should contact the Franklin County Sheriff's Office.
Peace seekers.